Today we're going to make shepherd's pie. I had a hard time finding a recipe that I actually liked, so I took a few recipes and combined them, and this is what I came up with. For the shepherd pie topping, you will need 4 large potatoes cubed. You'll need 3 large cloves of garlic, and you don't chop them or anything, they're going to be whole. You will need 3/4 of a cup of sour cream and a 1/2 of a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So the first thing you want to do is boil your potatoes in water with the garlic and just drop it in there whole. While that's getting ready to boil and everything, we're going to work on the filling for the shepherd's pie. For the shepherd's pie filling, you'll need 1 pound of extra lean ground beef. And the reason why the extra lean is important is because you want a little bit of oil to stay in the pan, but you don't want an excessive amount of oil. And I'll explain that later. You will need 2 tablespoons of flour, 4 cups of frozen mixed vegetables. I have about 16 ounces here. That's what I'm going to use. 3/4 of a cup of beef broth. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. And honestly, I think that the 2 tablespoons of ketchup is what really adds a depth of flavor, believe it or not. So while your potatoes are boiling, you want to start with, at first you're going to start frying the meat. Skillet heating up on medium. First thing you want to do is you want to brown your ground beef. Once your meat is browned, you're going to put in 2 tablespoons of flour, and you're going to let it fry for a minute. You want to stir it up. This will help absorb the oil and give some thickness to the broth once we add that. Alright, it's been frying for about a minute. Now you're going to add your mixed vegetables. Hopefully this pan can handle all this. Your broth. And your 2 tablespoons of ketchup. My ketchup just exploded on me. 1, 2. Now after I stir this up, I might add a little more beef broth, I'm not sure. Now you're going to cook this for 5 minutes and stir it frequently. And I think I'm going to add a tad more beef broth. meantime, go ahead and preheat your oven to 375. Okay, now you want to drain the potatoes. Turn it the other way. And you add them right back to the hot pan. This measurement is a 1/4 cup, so I put 3 of those in there. Now I'm not going to use a hand mixer, I'm going to use a potato masher for this. And then you want to mix this well. Once your potatoes are smooth, you'll want to stir in a 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. So I'm going to fill my 1/2 cup measurement. Let's do it this way. I don't mind if there's a little more cheese going on in there. It's fine. You want to stir this in gently. So I'm going to use a stiff spatula and fold it in. Okay. My cheese is mixed pretty well into the mashed potatoes. Now, I left the garlic in my mashed potatoes. You could remove it if you wanted, but I think it gives it a really nice flavor. But I love garlic, so. Okay. Now you need an 8-inch baking dish. I don't really have actually an 8-inch baking dish, so I'm going to use my brownie pan. So what you do is you take your meat mixture, and it says to spoon it into your baking dish. Actually, I should probably move my camera. Let me make sure it's in frame. Okay. So we're going to put the meat mixture in first.
Yeah. No, you can change it.
It already smells amazing. Okay, and then we flatten it out. It looks like I have all my liquid congregating on one side. Trim. Move that around a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to flatten it out. And we're going to try, now you want to cover it evenly with the potatoes. Now you bake this in your 375 oven for 18 minutes. After that, you'll sprinkle more cheese on top and bake it for 2 more minutes. But let's get started with the 18-minute baking. Okay, it's done baking. So what you do now is you sprinkle some cheese on top. Again, we can't go too crazy with it because somebody says he doesn't like melted cheese, Brandon. So but I definitely want to cover the top, so. You'll have to deal with whatever we put on it. And you're going to pop it back in the oven for 2 minutes, and then it'll be ready to serve. And this is what it looks like when it's done. It is delicious. Yum.